40 years ago, I began counseling men who had committed violence against women. I had just moved out west. To be honest, I was looking to make friends, and the guys involved in combating violence against women seemed like the kind of guys I'd want to have as friends. And they were. I also became a father during this time. Questions about how I wanted to raise my son, about what it means to be a man, were deeply personal for me. As is so often true of volunteering, I gained much more than I contributed. I started out thinking, I'm really different than these men I was counseling. They're men who abuse women, and me, I'm this good guy who would never do that. And yes, I've never done what those guys did. But I learned that we were not as different as I had imagined, because we were all brought up to believe the same thing, that this is a man's world. And we're willing to share it with women, as long as they don't get in our way, as long as they don't expect us to give up our power and privilege. Many of the men I worked with seemed to be unhappy. They all had their own reasons, but one thing they shared, they'd grown up learning that to be a man meant in some way to be less human, not less worthy. I mean that they learned that masculinity demanded that they shut off whole ranges of emotions, grief, tenderness, openness. There were huge swaths of human experience that were off limits for them. And not only for them. My dad was a role model for me in many ways, but I never saw him cry. He grew up internalizing an American idea of masculinity. Breadwinner, rational, emotions in check. I grew up internalizing that as well. Counseling these men brought home to me the deals men make to sustain the patriarchy. It's a raw deal for women, that's clear. But it's a bad deal for us as well. Michael Thompson and Dan Kenlin wrote, "Silence in the face of misogyny and cruelty is how boys learn how to be men." I learned that keeping that silence comes at a huge emotional cost for men. Learning how to dial down our empathy, gentleness, intimacy, and vulnerability is also how boys learn how to be men. I came to realize the cost is too high. Too high for women and for ourselves. That this was not the life I wanted for myself, and not the world I wanted to build for my daughters or my son. That being the kind of man society wanted me to be involved giving up some of the best things that life had to offer. This was a liberating realization. It meant that feminism's aims didn't come at my expense, because protecting my male privilege was not only damaging to women, it was damaging to me. It meant that the liberation of women meant my liberation as well. Did I magically transform to some super evolved feminist man? Of course not. How often do I conform to dumb male societal expectations? Oh, just about every day. We don't undo thousands of years of socialization overnight, at least I don't. But I can be more fully human, and I'm able to be a better ally. To paraphrase a famous saying from Pirkei Avot, who is wise? One who can feel the pain of others. Who is strong? One who can be vulnerable.